All right, everybody. Welcome into Better-in-Laws. I'm Tuck Silva, joined alongside brother-in-law Matt Prisco, and it's the holiday season.
Sure is.
Look at your little sweater over there.
Yep, little Mike Tyson.
Let's show that to the camera. That's pretty. I
Mike
got a nice
Tyson,
chuckle out of that.
Merry.
It's a picture for you audio folk who can't see. It's a picture of Mike Tyson in the middle of a wreath with his old face tattoo.
Beautiful.
And it says, Merry Christmas.
Yes. Yes.
Spelled out exactly how it's written. I absolutely love that.
Just perfect. It's just a perfect sweater. I saw it. I was like, I need that.
I don't own a ugly Christmas sweater.
But I just bought two for this year.
Although that looks like it's a crew neck, so you're kind of cheating a little bit.
Little crew neck, well, I just wore it. It's just a festive.
It's a holiday crew neck.
It's a festive sweater.
It's not a sweater. It's a sweatshirt. Yeah.
Sweatshirt.
So you're kind of cheating for comfort a little bit, but I don't fault you.
I didn't say it was an ugly sweater. Yeah. I think it's a beautiful sweater, a sweatshirt, to be honest.
Yeah. No, it is.
That little crew neck.
I like it, yeah. It'll be tight in like 2 weeks when it goes to the dryer
That's
twice.
all right. You only need it once, right?
Yeah, one time. That's all. All right. Well, it's what? What the hell is it? Week 16, and now you got these Saturday games being mixed in and everything like
Love
that.
Love it.
Everybody's running around and all stressful and everything. So you know what? I think it's time that we crack open a couple on this podcast.
Let's crack them.
This was left behind from a previous podcast in the Big Night Studios here at the TD Garden. These are Sellies.
Selly.
Looking for a sponsor, Selly. Just want to
Selly,
throw it out there.
Vodka seltzer.
This is vodka soda, mango pineapple. What do you have?
I have a little black cherry lime.
Okay. And this is 5% alcohol.
Yep.
And it's Selly is short for celebration, is meant to transform any moment into one to remember. With each sip, we hope you're reminded to cherish all life has to offer. Selly, because every day is a celebration. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Happy holidays.
Hey, to 10-0. Do we have a couple double likes maybe, or a double like? We got one. We have a couple. I'm just looking. I came in hot.
You almost had 5-0 last week on came down to Monday Night Football with the Jags.
Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Monday night was Eagles Seahawks.
A quick story. I went out drinking on Sunday.
Cheers.
Yeah,
hold
cheers.
on.
Yeah, cheers. We're gonna do all that cheer shit. Yeah. My buddy Sal Gesimando, a little quick shout out to Sal. He's the general manager of all the taverns. Just walk in a tavern in the square if you're in the Boston area and say you know Matt Prisco. You listen to me. And he says that he knows you, and Sal will take care of you. So, Sal, I love you, buddy. I know you're a listener of the show. Took care of me on Sunday, I'll tell you that much. And
now, did you give him the heads up you would be saying this on the podcast?
No, absolutely not. But he's a listener, and he loves me, and what could go wrong? He may not take care of you if you're listening. But
get a flood of 2 people.
Yeah, it could be 3. Could be 3 people.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. It's holiday vacation time.
That is true. That is true.
But yeah, no, Sal, great guy. If you're ever in the tavern in the square areas, he is the best. So took care of me on Sunday. The point is, he really took care of me because he was there celebrating all our wins.
Yeah,
and then
he hammers your best bets.
He loves to bet with me. He's a good man and a trusted source for me to bounce things off of. So we were on a bunch of stuff together on Sunday, and then I felt so great, Tuck, that when I was putting my children to bed on Sunday night, I passed out with them and watched about 2 plays of the Jags game. So thank you, Sal. You did more than your job saving me from watching that catastrophe that I did go back and watch later on. And I'll be honest, I thought the Jags were very unlucky in that game. Like, hit a field goal. Like, Trevor Lawrence just dropping the ball.
McManus missed 2 or in the first half. Yeah.
That's the momentum there. Right. A lot of stuff. We could talk about it, but yeah.
Well, yeah, so I once again sucked on the 1 o'clock slate and cleaned up the rest of the way. Rams minus 6.5 was a double like for us, and then I had the Niners Cards over 47.5. So I lucked out on my 4 o'clock slate there. I don't know what it is with this 1 o'clock slate.
Yeah, maybe you're just not a 1 o'clock slate guy. Maybe you're like a 4 p.m. and on guy.
I don't know. I had the Giants +6 as a best bet. Loss. Yeah. Patriots lost by half a point. +9.5. Packers -3. I was looking at my phone I brought my kids to the Celtics game.
Yes, that's
and
right.
I was looking at these scores via phone. So I was just, you know, in between cheering for Jason Tatum with my son.
You're better.
I was like, son of a bitch, Packers.
The Packers were really disappointing.
Yeah.
Really disappointing. I mean, Baker Mayfield had a perfect QB rating.
You're home at Lambeau Field. That's where you're supposed to take care of business. And I thought you would against a quarterback like Baker Mayfield. But hey, hat tip to Baker Mayfield. 4 touchdowns. Chris Godwin went bananas.
Perfect QB rating. First time this year.
Yeah.
Good job, Packers.
So either way, I went 2-3, and you went 4-1. Another best bet victory for you, bringing you to 12-3 on the season. And now I'm 4-11 on best bets, like the Patriots, pretty much. I think that's our record. No, they don't even have
3.
4.
Don't give them 4 yet.
Okay, so I'm better than the Patriots.
No, you want to be. You want them to have 3.
Yeah, so I'm 4-11 on my best bets. Hey, like I've been saying all year, fade my best bets because you're making money.
Yeah, you've been saying it.
Yeah, I call it like it is. But overall record, we are now officially tied for the first time this season.
Yes.
Both of us sitting at 41, 33, and 1.
Yeah, beautiful.
We'll
take that.
Very interesting. So I think this is the part of the season where you start to move well past me with these
you never
last
know.
3 weeks
It is
left.
a marathon, but I'll be honest, Tuck, we said we loved the card last week. It was my favorite card of the year, so 4-1. I really wanted the 5-0 after saying it was my favorite card.
Yeah.
All that said, don't love this card this week.
Yeah, I was having the same feeling this morning during my prep. I'm like, oh, we got another one of these weeks.
Yeah.
Where I hate it.
My numbers lined up a lot on these numbers, and things haven't moved much. So I have not. We got 5, but man, we'll talk about it.
All right. Well, let's get right into it here. Again, if you haven't done so already, please like us on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, @Better-in-Laws. Follow us on Twitter as well. Our personal handles, @TuckSilva, @MPrisco3. And definitely subscribe to us on and like us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and YouTube especially. Give us the thumbs up there. Very much appreciate that. All right, let's get right into it. We have another Saturday slate of games here. If I can get open my thing.
We'll save one. We have a double like on the second Saturday game, so let's start there because first like is involved.
Oh, actually,
in our best bet.
Okay. Is that a Saturday game?
Yep.
Which one? Cowboys?
Nope.
No.
That's not a best bet.
Okay. Preview.
But that's not a best bet.
Yeah? Okay. Well, okay. So we have Bengals, Steelers, Bills, Chargers, Lions, and Vikings on Saturdays.
No, Lions, Vikes, Sunday. Only 2 this week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Bengals, Steelers on Saturday, Bills, Chargers on Saturday. So let's get right into that. Well,
we could start with the same game. We like different things in one.
Okay,
same
let's
game.
start there. All right.
The Sellies are hitting already.
Yeah,
I guess so.
Those Sellies are, going down quick here. I must say.
But delicious, by the way.
Paired
if I may add, black cherry lime, delicious. I was suspect with that flavor for my taste
You're
buds.
on the black cherry?
Yeah, black cherry lime.
Okay.
A suspect for that my taste buds with that. But I'll tell you what, delicious.
I'm liking the mango pineapple so
right,
far.
let's go.
I would recommend maybe a hint of jalapeno.
Ooh.
I think that would maybe
man.
take it up a notch. But hey, that's just me.
That's
Maybe it might be weird with vodka, but I don't know. Either way, it's really, really refreshing. All right. Bills, Chargers. Chargers just fired their head coach, Brandon Staley.
Yes.
We all know this was long overdue. We said that he should have been fired back in November when he was flipping out on media members about and getting defensive when they were asking a very basic question. And mind you, this is the LA Chargers media, not really a gauntlet of nothing against them. It's just not like a highly volatile fan base, if you will, like a Philly or a Boston or a New York or something like that. This guy couldn't take the heat, and he was getting all defensive with them, in November. So it's just like, all right, this guy has just lost it. Complete loser, if you ask me.
Asshole. You'll give 77,000 points to the Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, what was the final? 63-24? Is that what it was?
21. They got to 21.
Yeah. I mean, Chargers just did not show up at all. And this was not an Easton stick thing.
No, Easton
mind you.
was great.
This was a full-on... We saw it. It was a full-on effort thing. So, give me the Bills.
Okay.
Minus 11.5. And I'm going against the narrative of the fire the coach, following game rally, because it's way too late in the year for that narrative, if you ask me. This has all the feels of, let's just get this season over with already. Austin Eckler looks like a 38-year-old running back. Mm-hmm. He is a shell of himself. Keenan Allen, I think, is done for the year, most likely. I don't know why he would come back from his injury, or rush to come back, at least, aside from his competitive nature. And obviously, you lost Justin Herbert for the year. And there is no NFL team that's hotter right now than the Buffalo Bills, if you ask me. Is there?
No.
I can't name one.
Maybe one.
Who?
Not in the AFC. Did you say AFC?
No, in the NFL.
The Niners are pretty hot.
But they've been. I think they're just an elite team.
Well, that's fair.
I mean, they've just been hot all year. But aside from that skid, when they had their injuries or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
But they were looking solid right out of the get-go.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought they had a chance to go undefeated, honestly. But then they ran into the injury problems. But this Bills team has finally figured it out. What looked like it was a lost season for the Bills, they finally are clicking on all cylinders. And that really stems from, like it or not, it stems from the firing of Ken Dorsey, and Joe Brady's taken over. That offense looks a lot better.
They do. And
Joe Brady's been getting James Cook more involved in that offense. Much, much needed here. I'm just going to keep this easy. I think Bills could easily win by over 2 touchdowns here. They want to take care of business. They have the AFC East in their target range, or their eyesight, or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. They see the window is open. The 1 seed is not out of the realm of possibility either.
Yeah.
It's a long shot, yes, but it's still right there for the taking. Give me the Bills minus 11.5. I think that they absolutely smoke a Chargers team that's just completely checked out.
All right, I'm with you. I think the Bills probably cover this number. A lot of points, so didn't want to lay it, but I do have a like in the game, and it's on the over. And more so here, at 43.5, Buffalo and the Chargers. I think Buffalo's getting to 30 in this game, so you can play their team total, which was around 26.5, 27 last time I looked this morning. I like that. We don't give out team totals specifically here, so I'm playing the overall total. I think they get in the 30s, and I think the Chargers can put up 14 points against the Bills team, who is, especially late, they give up. They are still banged up. They played an unbelievable game last week, covered as my best bet with very much ease against the Cowboys. That was just an unbelievable spot here. A lot of points to lay, even on the road. Yes, they just fired Brandon Staley. I still don't want to get to that number, but I do think the Bills cover this. I think I can see this game being around 31-14, 31-20. So that's where once we get closer to the 20, if the Chargers can get there, I don't think they will. I think they'll be around the 14-17 range, but because I like Buffalo in the 30s, that supports it. You mentioned it. They're getting James Cook involved. It's changed their entire offense. I said it last week. It's not just Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. They're getting the ball to James Cook. He's an elite playmaker with the ball in his hands. It opens everything up for them. The Dalton Kincaid can come in. Although Dalton Kincaid 0 catches last week, but they played a very run-heavy game plan against Dallas. I think Josh Allen threw the ball like 15 times.
Yeah. I mean, just look at what they did to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They put up 31.
Easy.
And their defense, as banged up as they have been all year, something is clicking on that defense as well.
They're awesome. I told you last week, I play the Niners versus the Bills in the Super Bowl plus 2,200. It's worth a shot. Play Josh Allen as MVP. That now is at 1,400, by the way.
I still think that the odds to win the AFC East are plus 210, something like that. I still think that's worth a dabble.
Because they're 2 games out, but I'll say this. They play Miami last week of the year. So there's a shot.
And they got the Pats next week.
There's
Dolphins have the Ravens next week.
There is a path there for Buffalo.
Yeah.
All they need to do is tie them because they'll win the tiebreaker as long as they beat Miami in Week 17.
Oh, and by the way, Giff Smith is now the head coach for the Chargers.
Giff,
that's what I said.
Yeah, Giff.
Just my buddy. My buddy's name. We call him Giff.
Yeah.
And Matt Smith. So Giff Smith.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
They combined and had a child who's a
child.
55-year-old interim head coach of the Chargers.
Love. What could go wrong?
Yeah. So he was the defensive line coach or the outside linebackers? Oh, like what was his title this year? Because I'm looking at his bio. It says he was defensive line coach of his first 6 seasons before switching to outside linebackers in 2022. That's all I'm seeing. So what was his title this year?
He just kept playing. I don't know what he was, to be
Either
honest.
way, like, he's not qualified to be a head coach, I don't think.
No, and
that's how desperate this team is.
They've been so cheap over the years. Their owner is one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest owner in the sport. I mean, everything he does. But he came out the other day and said, "Oh, we'll do whatever it takes to get the right guy." Okay, we'll see. You're gonna have to pay.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see. I mean, that job, if they actually pay someone, be interesting. There's some players there.
Yeah, there is. That's a destination that's been linked to Bill Belichick as a rumor. Makes a lot of sense. I don't fully believe it. We talked about it a few weeks back. I still don't really believe he would be a Charger.
Yeah, it's
as simple
just
as
a weird spot.
Yeah.
I know he said Brady was looking at them too, and he didn't. But he also chose the Bucs, who I didn't think he'd ever choose. But hey,
all right, well, there's our first likes there. Bills minus 11.5 and Buffalo Chargers over 43 and a half there. Second like, I'm looking at Sunday, and I'm looking at another laughable situation in terms of a franchise. Colts versus Atlanta. Give me the Colts plus 1.5 on the road in Atlanta. Atlanta is a complete mess of a franchise right now.
Yeah.
Been wildly inconsistent. They had the NFC South within grasp a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Looked like they finally figured things out with Bijan Robinson and finally getting him more involved. And then last week happened with the Carolina Panthers in Carolina, and I understand it was terrible, terrible weather.
Yeah.
But you still saw way too many cute rotations in that backfield with Bijan and Tyler Algier and Cordero Patterson there.
Yep.
And they went back Arthur Smith went back to more of the bullshit that he was doing early on in the year.
Yeah.
And now they're changing their quarterback again.
After saying that Ritter was going to be the quarterback the rest of the year and let him play because he's young and you know what you have in Heineke and like whether you agree with it or not, you don't make those comments and then go back to Heineke after a loss. It's weird.
I mean, this is turning into an absolute laughingstock right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And did you see owner Arthur Blank, his comments today?
I didn't see them today, no.
He was quoted as saying, "Let the season play out and go from there," when he was asked about head coach Arthur Smith's future. Not exactly a ringing endorsement of their head coach.
No, that doesn't sound it, Tuck. I was just looking that up as you were talking, and I can see, that's, for Arthur Smith, I think when you start coaching for your job, it can go one of two ways. And if you start panicking and switching quarterbacks, that's the wrong decision to make, in my opinion, because if you keep going back and forth, if you've done it already.
Yeah.
I mean, think about what we saw here. It's like with the Patriots, you just keep throwing Mac Jones out there. Every fan knew this guy's got the yips. We're not winning with him.
Yeah.
We're not winning these games. Throw out Zappy. He might not win them either, but he'll give you a better chance because something's up with Mac here, right? So, like, when you start to go back and forth, how do you expect a guy like Desmond Ridder, who's young, to compete and play at its highest level? You can't. It's a very difficult thing for a young quarterback, or any quarterback for that matter. We're still all human beings. So, I don't know. I hate the decision to go back to Heineke, to be honest.
Now, I guess I understand how the Falcons are actually favored in this game because the Colts' run defense really sucks.
Blows.
They're 29th in the NFL to opposing running backs. Mm-hmm. So, and that's Atlanta's philosophy, right? Is run first.
Yep.
And that's probably what they're going to do here. But this Colts team, they're 8-6. They're tied with the Texans, and they're tied with the Jaguars. But look at what's going on with those other teams there. C.J. Stroud, not likely to play again this weekend with concussion, although the Texans did win last week. But still, there's an opportunity there for the Colts. And the Jaguars have lost 3 in a row now. Yep. And we don't know if Trevor Lawrence is going to be playing this weekend, although it seems like we did receive some sort of a positive update on that front.
Yeah, trending in the right direction.
Trending in the right direction, yeah. So that wouldn't shock me. But they lost another wide receiver in Zay Jones.
Yeah, they lost 3 in a row.
Travis Etienne looks like he's running out of steam, too, by the way. Mm-hmm. He didn't look great versus the Ravens last week.
Nope.
I think that's just a second-year back who's just... He's his second year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Technically third.
Either way,
but
young
he was
running back.
Out for the year, his first year.
seemingly running out of gas in the tank.
Yep.
So I think they see a window of opportunity here. It looks like Jonathan Taylor is actually going to be returning potentially this weekend for the Colts.
Yep.
So give me the Colts as a road dog here, plus 1.5.
All right, bud. I like that.
Do you really?
I do. I originally was looking at Atlanta when they were 2.5-point dogs and thinking, wow, this is going to be an Atlanta play for me. And then they said Heineke's going to play. And then I stayed away when it got to kind of pick 'em range, and now it's leaning towards the Colts. And I like the Colts. I think the Colts were a much better coach team. We talked about Shane Steichen.
They looked good last week.
I mean,
they battled through adversity there. A couple of injuries last week. First, I know it was the Steelers, but still.
I like him a lot as a head coach. What he's done with that Indianapolis team is
he's a coach of the year
remarkable.
candidate.
He should be. I mean, he's playing with a backup quarterback now. Granted, we all know Gardner Minshew can get in there, win some games, and we'll see. But he's taken them to the next level. They also lost Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss, and they still were running the ball last week with success with Trey Sermon. So, I mean, these are things that, the well-coached teams do. Like you replace the next guy. It's next man up, and that's good to see. It's a stay away from me where it's at. I lean the Colts, though. If it gets any lower, if we start to see 2s or 2.5s, I'm in with you.
I am seeing that Minshew has thrown 6 touchdowns and 1 pick in his past 3 games, so he is seemingly getting hot there. Although we do want to keep an eye on the status of Michael Pittman, who was also concussed last week with that pretty dirty hit with the Steelers there. I don't think he would play this weekend, but that doesn't really factor into my decision. I think they could be just fine.
Yep, he's got the extra day because they played Saturday. So when you're talking concussion,
he could be
those
back.
Days matter.
Still don't know.
Yeah,
but all right. What's your second like?
All right, buddy. Second like for me, we just talked about them. The Jacksonville Jaguars plus 1.5. They didn't come through for me last week, so let's go back to the well. They've lost 3 in a row.
I was close on this one
too. Who's playing better than the Bucs? Another hot team right now, playing really well, 7-7 at home. Have the Jags coming in. The Jags, I feel like this line thinks Trevor Lawrence, this is like a little safety net. It's kind of in the middle of where I suspect they really don't know if Trevor Lawrence is going to play, and I'm going to bank on him actually playing here. So I'm taking the Jags. I like the positive news we received today. I'm getting 1.5 points in a team that is as desperate as it gets. Like you just mentioned, the Colts are right there. The Texans are right there. We have a 3-way tie in that division for the lead. I believe we are. If not, it's a couple teams within a game. So, look, this is a must-win for the Jags. Now, granted, Tampa, playoff team as of now, winning the division, 7-7. Must-win for them, sure. But if they win the next 2 after that, they have the Saints. They can take care of business anyways, and it's not as much of a desperate situation for them. Though, I will say, let's just call it, it's a big game for both teams, right? And I think the one thing that concerns me with the Jags is their injuries. They're starting to mount up. We saw Christian Kirk a couple weeks ago. You mentioned Zay Jones.
Yeah.
We saw Trevor Lawrence. At the very least, what that means is even if he plays, he's not going to practice. Would like to see ETN start to play a little bit better. But the thing about the Jags, and I think they can get this going, is they have ETN, yes, but they also have Tank Bigsby and Dearness Johnson. So I want to see more of the committee back if we are running out of juice with ETN. I think we will see that. I think they'll start to use ETN in more passing situations where they're limited in receiver. I think, and he's a great pass-catching running back, so you can utilize him that way. The Bucs are still very banged up, despite the fact that they're winning these games. I would say it's more about the Packers and the way that they played. That defense was horrendous last week. So much to say about the Packers D. They've been atrocious. I think the Bucs just happen to take advantage. A lot of third down conversions. Credit to Baker Mayfield. Tip the cap. Does he do it again here? I don't think so. Even with the injuries on the Jags side, I still think they're the far superior talented team, even on defense. For the guys that are going to play, there's injuries on the Jags offense. There's also a lot of injuries on the Bucs D. So I think that evens out, and I just think the more talent is on the Jags side. Also, from a trend perspective, the Jags are 9-1 at ATS in their last 10 on the road, so I like that. And I'm getting points. I just think they're the better team. I think it's the ultimate buy low spot for the Jags here in a game that they absolutely need. And I love to play teams that are buy low versus sell high opportunities. And I think you're kind of seeing the high tipping point here with the Bucks. So give me the Jags. I'm going back to them this week. And I'll take the plus 1.5 here with them.
It's probably an overthink on my part, but my only hesitation on this game, and I was leaning Jags, like I mentioned, but the Saints playing Thursday night, and I love the Rams on Thursday night. No Thursday night bets, but Thursday night bets. We'll talk about that coming up. But, there's a situation where hypothetically Saints lose, Bucks obviously witness that on Thursday night, and they'll be like, all right, let's go out and win this fucking division.
Yeah, they could. I mean,
because they got the Saints next week.
And they play them, so that's big.
So that was my only hesitation there. And obviously the whole Trevor Lawrence thing. But, yeah, the line definitely, I see the advantage in that line. Though.
Right. Yeah.
All right, so let's go to my third like here. Double like.
Double like?
For the both of us. Another third like, double like.
Double like.
Like last week. Give me the Cowboys. +2 in Miami, coming off a really, really bad loss in Buffalo. I didn't feel like anybody was really confident in them going into Buffalo winning anyways. Just a tough spot, and obviously the hot team with Buffalo there. Tough place to play, but they're facing a Miami team that still really hasn't proven themselves against winning teams. I still think that Cowboys are probably a top 5 team in the NFL. Dolphins versus winning teams this year are 0-3 with losses versus the Bills, Chiefs, and Eagles, and everybody else is just garbage.
Yep.
So there's somebody moving a chair.
What we got going on here?
I don't know if
someone climbing through the pipes here.
Somebody,
yeah. What's going on?
I don't know what's going on with the drilling.
The Sellies are talking to me. I think
desk chair moving. I don't know.
Glad you heard it. I'm glad you heard it. For me, for a second,
They're
I'm
building
like,
an arcade upstairs.
They're building. Oh, that's right, the arcade.
That's pretty sweet. You know what? Good. Like the noise. Bring it.
What arcade
You're
requires
hearing
drilling?
like all binging and jackpot.
Putting in a little skee ball.
When's that going to open?
I think like this week.
Beautiful. Love that.
Wait, really?
2 days from now.
That was quick.
Oh, wow. Okay. Gonna set that up.
Fine, we'll check it
Set
out.
that up early.
All right.
I don't know what you got to set up, but set it up.
Next
All right.
week.
I'll make it happen.
Fine.
I want to see that and broadcast from there. That would be cool.
That'd be cool.
All right. So, yeah, the Dolphins are shit versus winning teams. They really haven't proven themselves yet. On top of that, the Cowboys, they are 12-1 against the spread after a loss since 2021. Dallas is 3-0 against the spread in this spot this season. But this is also, this will be their first time as an underdog in this situation where they're actually 0-3 against the spread. So that goes against our point here. But I think it's a good spot for the Cowboys. Bounce back spot, warm weather matchup here. You got the Ravens on deck for the Dolphins. Cowboys need to get their shit together. Bump in the road.
Yep.
They see what's happening in Philadelphia. Philadelphia now loses of their last 3 and look chaotic.
Shucks. Breaks
really.
my heart. Breaks my heart, Philly.
So the Cowboys, they see the division ripe for the taking there.
Yep.
So give me the Cowboys +2. Anything to add to that?
I agree wholeheartedly, Tuck. Thank you. A lot of the points on my handicap you mentioned. I said this is going to be a fun game. I think the two teams mirror each other in a lot of ways. And
Love the over.
Yeah, it's high, but I think we're going to see it hit. These two teams, they really are the same team. I've been saying this all year. Dallas and Miami, they're the same team.
51, by the way, was the over on.
Yeah, 51. They both just shit themselves when they play good teams, though. And like the thing here is, at least we've seen it with Dallas. They did beat Seattle. We'll call them a 500 team at best because that's what they were when they played them.
I would put Seattle in the good category.
I think they're slightly better than an average team. That's how I power rate them. So I do have them as a team that's slightly better.
I think the Seahawks and Dolphins are pretty similar, if you ask me. Maybe the Dolphins have the edge.
Yeah, well, I like
similar type of teams.
I think the Dolphins are better than the Seahawks, probably by a
goal. I do too, but I would put them in that same category.
Yeah,
as good, solid team.
I know what you're saying. Yeah. They're not like elite.
Right.
But here's the thing with we've also seen them beat Philly, right? So I know it was at home. The one concern here is Dallas plays so bad on the road, and Miami is a really good home team. But the thing that pushed me over the edge with this one, Tuck, is simple. We've seen this movie before with Miami. It's the only other thing I wanted to add. In Miami, you start to believe in them, and what do? they lose a game, even if it's at home. Look at the Titans 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
In control of the 1 seed. Absolutely no business losing that game.
Yep.
And not only a 14-point favorite, but if you're up 14 with 3 minutes to go, and you lost that game. So, overall, I can't back Miami here. I think this is going to be a really fun game. To be honest, I didn't even want to have one of my 5 likes on it, but the card speaks to me. I let the card do the talking. I think Dallas is going to win this game. Close, but we still have a key number in 2, which 2 is becoming more of a key number these days. So give me the 2. Love the Cowboys
I
here.
still like them at 1.5, by the way, plus 1.5.
Yeah, but if you can get 2,
Sure. Oh, yeah.
That's something to strive for, in my opinion.
But you're seeing 1.5s kind of come out
yeah.
more and more as the week goes on here.
I'm looking at across the table, and it looks like most it's about split. Let me see. Consensus looks like it's about 1.75.
Get your 2, obviously, if you can.
1 point. You're still good at a point and a half. I think the Cowboys win, so we'll say that. That said, get the best number you can. I will also say this. Just know anytime you back the Cowboys, if you listen to this podcast early, as you should, public loves the Cowboys. So money's going to come in on the Cowboys. Whether that changes the line or not, that's what Vegas manages. But just keep in mind, when the public starts betting, which is later in the week, Dallas will be bet.
Did Tyreek play last week?
He did not play.
Okay,
And
so
they still took care of business. That was nice to see from a Miami perspective. The way they played against the Titans when he was out, they looked like they couldn't get a first down. Never mind score points, and they still beat the Jets 30-0 without Reek.
Yeah, I mean, they were just like, "Hey, don't rush back here. We
got this one."
Yeah, I would venture to guess that Tyreek plays, knowing that this is America's team he's going up against.
He's playing.
Everybody's going to be watching. Tyreek's going to play.
Yeah,
no doubt about it, if you ask me. All right, so we got a double like for our third like there. My final like here is going to look at the Detroit-Minnesota game. I think this one shoots out, so give me the over, 46.5 for that one. Vikings, they did have a solid stretch of defense. Mind you, though, it was against weaker offenses. Mm-hmm. And last week was kind of telling. They allowed 27 points last week against the Bengals, and Jake Browning's turned into a really good story there. But that's still a very high-functioning offense. Still a lot of pieces there, and I would put them in a good offense category, if you will. Yeah. And look what the Vikings defense did there. The Lions, they are averaging 32 points per game when playing indoors this season. This is on the road. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter. Indoors, they still crush. Pair that with the Lions defense that has holes in its secondary. They're ranked 25th against opposing wideouts. This one just has shootout written all over it. Nick Mullins looks solid against the Bengals last week. And I think he can handle himself against this Detroit Lions secondary with the pieces of Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison went bananas last week. And former Lion, maybe a little bit of revenge factor here, TJ Hawkinson, on his home turf, maybe looking to, shove it up their asses, if you will.
Yeah.
So give me the over, 46.5 on this one.
I could see it. The only thing that scares me is, despite the final score last week with Cincinnati and Minnesota, I really like the way Minnesota's defense has played the last couple of weeks. I think they're putting a lot of pressure on quarterbacks. Jared Goff sucks against the blitz, but you can still run on Minnesota, and I think this could be a big Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs is playing out of his mind
keep giving
right
Gibbs
now.
the ball. Don't even worry about Montgomery. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Keep giving Gibbs. Feed him. You've saved him for this reason. He was a stud last week. Keep giving him the ball, and I think you take care of business, and you'll hit the over there. As long as the Lions get there, you can't have bad Lions. And I think, last week I loved the Lions. Situational spot. They buried. Easy winner there. But keep running the ball a little bit. Open up the pass game off of that. Get Jahmyr Gibbs as your main offense.
Look at what Gibbs has been doing the past 3 weeks.
It's been incredible.
Against the Saints, he averaged 7.5 yards a carry versus the Bears, who've been a solid defense lately, averaging 6 yards a carry. And last week with Denver, averaged 9.1 yards per carry.
Yep.
So Jahmyr Gibbs has been absolute stud.
Love that.
For that Lions team.
So good.
Give me the over on that 46.5. Your final like is related to a best bet, so we're going to hold off on that one.
Yep.
Before we get to our best bets. let's jump ahead to the rest of the slate here and anything that might have been close for you or your feelings overall on the game. I mentioned the Thursday night game earlier, Saints and Rams. I would hammer the Rams. McVay, I saw something on covers related to Sean McVay this time of year.
He covers 17-4-1 ATS.
That's what it is. Yeah. I just don't believe in the Saints at all. And I'm still friggin' pissed about the Giants not showing up last week. I really liked that Giants pick last week. That sucked. But yeah, the Rams, their offense really is something special with Kyron Williams in the backfield. I just think they're home. They take care of business versus the Saints. If this was not Thursday Night Football, this would have been one of my likes.
This is my best bet of the week.
Yeah.
It's Thursday Night Football. Can't give it out. It's my best bet.
No Thursday Night bets, but Thursday Night bets.
Literal best bet. More confident in this game than anything. It's the Rams -4. They're going to bury this team.
Where did this open? Do we know?
I believe it was 4, too. I don't think it's moved much.
I don't think it has either.
Open 4.
So why isn't that moved?
It's concerning. 91% of the tickets, 88% of the money. Yeah.
That's a little concerning.
Yeah, it happens. But they're not always right. And right now, you don't want to move that line. I know why it's not moving. It's how much respect do you want to give to the Rams. The Saints, it's still a big game for them. Chris Olave is going to play after saying he wasn't going to play. There's reasons the Saints did win the game last week. I think that's more about the Giants. But that said, I will still back the Rams here. I think they win by a TD or more. So I would have bet the Rams as my best bet. Just telling you right now, that would have been my best bet of the week. But no play official. Do what you need to do with that information.
Yeah, I absolutely love this Rams team right now. I hope they get in the playoffs because I think they could make some noise in the playoffs, honestly.
And the Niners in the last week of the year, give me a good game if the Niners need that. That'll be a good
that's the thing,
game because if the Rams need it and the Niners need it, it's going to be a good game.
But, I don't think the Niners would need the last week of the season. I think
if they lose to Baltimore.
Well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we will.
Let's move ahead here. We looking at the Packers and the Panthers. Panthers are 5-point home dogs. They're 2-4 at home this season, and obviously the rest of them suck on the road there. This Packers team just looks like they're packing it in, if you will.
Ooh, I see what you did there.
I hate myself.
Oh, God, that one sucked.
Yeah, I know. If I had a car accident sound effect, I would apply it here.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
We'll give you the pass.
But, yeah, this Packers team is just so wildly disappointing. I kind of want to back the Panthers here, honestly.
I've actually gone back and forth on this.
Not to win, just to cover.
No, to cover. And look, the Panthers, they're fighting. I mean, they won outright in one of the worst football games you could actually imagine last week in the rain. Packers, though, not a team I really want to back right now, though I almost did because you just feel like at some point they're going to cover. But who are the Packers right now to be laying 4.5 to anybody? Can't get there, though my line that I made this 4.5, so I have a 0 play. We're right on it.
Yeah, that's just a game full of gross. 36.5, by the way, on the point total there.
The good thing about gambling, and I'll say this, we'll use it for this game, is that you don't have to do it. You don't have to bet this game. There's plenty of other options.
You sure about that?
I mean, I'll probably bet the Packers at the end of the day. We'll see. Christmas Eve cocktails. This is Christmas Eve cocktails. And you know what, Tuck? I may, with one more celly, just decide I'm betting every game for fun. And that's a bad idea. Don't ever do that. But I'm doing it.
Well, Joe Murray did that once.
March Madness, which is even more psychotic. Yeah, you talked about that on the podcast.
Because it's like 800 games on one day.
It's an actual crazy. He goes, and I got smoked. Yeah, it's a tough thing to do.
Browns and Texans. Texans are 2.5 home dogs here. Point total in this one is 40. Looks like we're going to see Case Keenum again with no C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco is just doing amazing things in Cleveland right now. Really a great story.
Yep.
38-year-old Joe Flacco coming off the streets here. I got no feel for this at all. My only thing with this one was that we all know how the Browns just absolutely blow on the road, and at least their defense.
Yep.
Case Keenum's a former Brown. Yeah. I kind of lean Texans here, but I really don't have much feels for this one.
So I bet early. You know I bet early. I bet on like Mondays
Yeah,
and
I know.
Tuesdays.
Yeah, what's your
sometimes
point?
Sunday nights it
Yeah.
opens. Well, my point is this. Sometimes you got to tell the fun stories too.
Okay.
Sometimes you get buried, and I have the Texans already bet -2.5.
Oh.
And I played it thinking like, okay,
Stroud.
Stroud's going to be back. I'll take my
No.
chance. I'll roll the dice. I know there was a chance that he wouldn't, but in the event that he was going to, I'm like, this line's going to balloon to 4, and I'm going to get through the key number of 3, and I'm going to love it. And honest to God, the second I placed it, within 20 minutes, there was a report that Stroud was unlikely to play, and I said, you suck, but I still like the Texans in this game because the Browns are 30th in the league in points per game given up on the road, so don't be blinded. We've been giving you guys the splits of their home versus road defense all year. Yes, Case Keenum's the quarterback, but sometimes those guys, the veteran guys, he's not an absolute star or even a great or good quarterback in the league, but he's fine. And Nico Collins will be back in this game. There will be opportunity to move the ball. I still think Houston can win this game by 3. That said, I'm not making it an official like, even though I did that, and I could get +2.5 because it could also go wildly bad.
Double down.
No, not doubling down. I already bet it, and it's locked in. So, but I'm not cashing out or anything like that. I don't do that.
If we are going to teach you guys anything to be a smart gambler, always chase. If we're going
I
to
almost
teach
fully spit that out. That was very bad timing. Never chase.
No?
Chase. Don't chase. Don't listen.
I'm just joshing.
And I do watch Tucker Chase on DraftKings because I get the little notifications that he's betting in the betting group.
Yeah, you have like
And it's
notification
just
on me.
hilarious. It's actually hilarious because I'll see Tucker placed 5 bets. He just went 0-3. Things are going well. So I'm like,
You can just
you
picture
can't
me
see
in my
what I
room.
can't see what you're
Damn
betting. I can't see what you're betting, but I'm like, dear God, please let that be an
I know.
okay size.
I gotta pump the brakes a little bit with my rifling off bets as I'm watching games, especially. The live betting is
Live betting's electric.
oh.
It is an electric time.
but it has benefited me occasionally.
You can get if you're good at live betting. There's real strategy behind it. I will say that. That's probably for another show.
The
but
one,
like
the one a few weeks ago with the Niners and Eagles,
perfect example.
amazing live bet.
If you like a team and they're off to a slow start, it's fantastic. It really is, like fantastic. Like if they go down a field goal, like sometimes I root for teams that I want to bet didn't get the number, so I won't chase and just say, "Oh, let me lay 4.5 when my number's 4." Hoping it would come to 4. No, what I root for is a quick score or even momentum. Like cross the 50, you're going to get the 4. Like it starts to come down. Just keep an eye on that live bet. You'll get that number. You just got to hope it works that way. If it goes the other way, then you lost the number. You didn't bet it anyways, and so be it.
Let's go to the Seahawks and Titans here. This one is very, very, very baity.
Oh, God, yes.
If you ask me, and this is obviously, the square play of -2.5 for the Seahawks. Point total in this one is 42. And, you're looking at this as a bettor, and you're like, okay, no Will Levis, high ankle sprain, most likely. Derrick Henry had like 73 carries for average like half a yard.
You're not good.
Last week, and had like 6 yards on the ground, whatever it was, right? What was it really, though? Because that was...
bad,
he was one of
my
my big DFS plays last week, Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
because he
did not.
roast the Texans in his history, but they figured it out last week. He had 16 carries for 9 yards, and he averaged 0.6 yards per carry.
Yeah.
He had 4 receptions for 1 yard. So,
pretty good. 4 receptions for 1 yard?
Yeah.
That's solid.
So, most likely going to see Ryan Tannehill this week, and the Titans, they are out of the playoff picture, obviously. But the Beatty pick, the square play is Seahawks -2.5. Is it too easy?
Nope, I like Titans. It would have been a 6 for me here. I had like 7 games that I was teetering to get the 5 in. I went with the over, and sometimes I'm like, I should have put that game instead of the Titans. I did bet at +3. It went to +3 real quick, and then bet down to 2.5. I was fortunate enough to get the +3, and I think it's going to happen here. Look, it's an all-time bad spot for Seattle. You just had like an unbelievable win on Monday Night Football, right? Drew Lock, great story, pretty cool. Went down the field against Philadelphia in a game they needed. They're back in the playoff hunt. Short week now. Come to Tennessee. You're traveling across the country.
Week.
Like
big
still have the
emotional
win.
Yep.
Now you come down. There's a Titans team who, let's face it, they suck. They stink. I get it. But who's betting the Titans? Professional bettors are betting the Titans. Who's betting the Seahawks? Everybody and their mother. So Be careful if you're taking the Seahawks here. I just think it's an all-time spot for Tennessee. I would. I like Tennessee. I wanted the +3 just for some coverage. I do think the Seahawks do sneak out a win. I will say that. I don't think this is like a slam dunk, which is why it's not an official play for me. Why I also wanted the 3. There's no 3s in market right now.
I mean, the other aspect of this is Tannehill. This is a guy who was benched very early on, and I understand he sucked.
Yeah,
he's going to be looking to play next year.
It's not like this guy is.
He's not
a rookie quarterback who's never. He's not like a. He's not a I'm trying to name a guy, but I don't want to throw anybody under the bus here. But he's not like an Aiden O'Connell coming into a game he's never started before. Right now he's playing, and obviously O'Connell's doing fine in Vegas. But the point is, he's played before, and he's not just. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's total shit either. So they'll get what they get out of him.
Okay, so let me just get this. Tennessee Titans head coach Mike Vrabel announces Ryan Tannehill. Okay, Will Levis is officially out as of 37 minutes ago. This is Wednesday afternoon. Ryan Tannehill, starting quarterback.
Wait,
hold on.
If Will Levis doesn't
is out.
Because they're not playing Malik Willis. That's a fucking...
I'm sorry, I misread that. Okay, so if Will Levis is out, so that's no fucking news at all.
Yeah, nothing.
What the fuck?
Thanks for the update.
Clickbait bullshit.
37 minutes to go. Cool update.
Imagine,
the way that reads, I see what you're saying.
But it's just we have to publish this blog or this article about something we already fucking knew.
Listen, there could be people having heart attacks and Malik Willis is about to play quarterback. In that case, I like Seattle. That's not going to happen.
I understand both. I understand you're reporting news, but it's just we all know that Malik Willis is not going to... Yeah. Mike Vrabel can't stand Malik Willis.
Totally.
If you watch how he has approached his game this year. I think Titans is a very sharp play. I will be keeping a close eye on that movement, if you will. But Will Levis officially not ruled out. Commanders and Jets, what a puke fest for this one. Jets are somehow 3-point favorites here. Point total on this one is 37. I did not watch a ton of football this past Sunday. As I mentioned, I went to the Celtics game, 3 o'clock, awkward start, so I didn't see a ton of football. Did Sam Howell get hurt, or did he get yanked?
Benched.
Interesting. Okay.
Wasn't a good day for Sam.
And who's going to be starting for the Jets? Is it going to be Simeon again, or is it going to be Zach Wilson?
Well, Wilson was hurt, so a lot of question marks with the quarterback position this week. This is what made this card very hard to record on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
A lot of the times you like to record on a Wednesday because you get ahead of the line. You can predict movement. We're taking some risks here. I took the Jags, and I'm hoping Trevor Lawrence plays. There's things you just have to do with as many quarterbacks being risks. I would be on the Jets here if I knew Zach Wilson was playing. I know that's crazy to say out loud, but this
line says that Zach Wilson's going to be playing.
Yeah, I think
there's no way they're favored by 3 if it's Trevor Simeon. No way.
I think Washington's just been figured out. I mean, they've been dreadful for what?
Yeah, but
6 weeks now.
They just put up 20 versus the Rams on the road.
Yeah, true.
They lost by 8.
A lot backdoor there. A lot of backdoor there.
I don't know. That's just a gross game.
Yeah, ugh. I get it.
Let's go to... This was very, very close for me. Cardinals and Bears. Bears favored by 4 points here. Point total on this one is 44, but I got more square vibes on this one with taking the Bears.
Yeah.
We all know what the Cardinals are, a crap team. And part of the reason why I wanted to back the Bears pick is because the Cardinals just don't have wideouts.
Yeah.
Marquise Brown is completely banged up. Their top pass catcher, and rightfully so, because he's really, really good, is Trey McBride. Mm-hmm. Bears defense has been playing at an elite level, honestly, the past 5 games, something like that. 4 just feels weird to me.
I was very strongly leaning the Cardinals in this game.
Okay, tell me why.
I was leaning that way when it's 4.5. 4 feels we're getting closer to right. I think this game's a field goal game.
Right?
Listen, I've been on the Bears. I've been on the Bears the last couple weeks, right? And they've cashed 2 weeks in a row for me. Thank you, Chicago. But even last week, you're up 17-7 in the fourth quarter against Joe Flacco, and you somehow don't win that game. It's just their offense is still stuck in the mud at times. I see good things out of Justin Fields, and then there's just, Like, if I'm a Bears fan, I think I've come to terms with it's time to trade him. Let's get a boatload of picks for him, and let's start over with Caleb Williams. We're still a young team. We have talent there. We're going to have the number 1 pick from Carolina. Let's get some more picks from Fields and move on.
Well,
I that's the way I feel at this point. If I'm a Bears fan,
well, it seems like most indications are that the ownership's going to be moving on from Matt Eberflus there in the coaching staff.
Yep.
I don't know if that's right, considering how well they've played.
They have young talent. I mean, the defense has played better. But there was a game that you should win. Like, if your defense is like your young defense, but you got to go win that game. You're up 10 points in the fourth quarter. You can't lose it. Even if you're on the road, you get the good teams win those games, and you got to get there. You got to get there. That comes down to coaching. It comes down to the players. It's a little bit of both. So it's just too much of that for Chicago. I don't know who. I can't feel confident laying 4 points plus with the Bears. 3, fine. I think you're there. 4, not so much. Even the argument of Arizona coming to play in Chicago in December, I get, but we just saw them go into Pittsburgh, and I get they're two teams that are different. But we had 2 friggin' weather delays in Pittsburgh, and Arizona kicked the shit out of them.
Right.
So I still think Kyler Murray's a better quarterback on the field. So
I just don't know where Justin Fields will be traded to in the offseason, honestly.
Atlanta Falcons, number 1 destination. He fits their offense perfect. I mean, think about the running with him
that
and
makes
Bijan
sense.
and
Well,
like the young
but is
team,
Arthur
Drake
Smith
London.
going to be there?
I think Arthur Smith. Well, I thought Arthur Smith was going to be there, but I still think if Arthur Smith says, "Here's the plan, go get me Justin Fields," and like lesson of the Falcons, maybe don't draft Kyle Pitts if you're not going to use him, and maybe just take Justin Fields.
That's the
instead.
thing is they got to part ways with Kyle Pitts.
Well,
it's not working out.
It's not even that they have to part ways with him, but like just take Justin Fields.
You can
Like,
get a
he's the
second
quarterback.
round. You can get a second round pick. With
I'm
Pitts.
sure you could, but like you could also keep him and now trade for Fields. Like I think that's a great spot for him.
Yeah,
like playing on the fast turf too.
Yep,
like that team would be interesting.
Well, I guess remains to be seen
We'll find out.
The whole draft quarterback situation is going to look
There's
like.
a lot that's going to change at that position.
Yep. Patriots and Broncos. Line has not moved much. This opened at 5.5, and it has moved to 6.5, obviously favoring the Broncos at home. Point total in this one is 34.5. I really, really wanted to hammer the Broncos in this one. Last week's loss was really bad.
Yeah.
Really, like I know it's a tough task going into Detroit, but you got your asses kicked.
Yep.
So it's just the manner in which they lost that makes me hesitant on this one.
I get it.
And I'm also seeing videos of Mac Jones taking snaps at practice today. I don't know.
For what? Commercial?
I really hope we don't see Mac again. But either way, all I've seen is video. I've not seen any reports. I just saw a video floating around of Mac Jones throwing to Tyquan Thornton.
Good God, that's a travesty. I'll be honest. I'm punching myself in the throat over here that I didn't take this as my 5th like instead of the over in the Bills game. I was like teetering on it before the show. Denver, this is Denver all day long. I'm not worried about what they looked like last week because it was their 3rd straight road game, and that's just exhausting travel. Everything lined up for Detroit. Detroit needed that win more than they needed air, okay? And then they get 3 straight road games for Denver. That's just a tough ask, even in the NFL. And then the way the Pats are playing, like, Covers had them at like 13-4-1 ATS in their last 18.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're just not good. And yeah, they look better with Zappy. Give them that. They hung in there against the Chiefs, sort of.
I'll be honest. I didn't watch any of that game.
They got to score late to make it look closer than it was. I'll say that. But
like, I was just like, okay, I'll just watch the highlights later of this Pats-Chiefs game. I had no desire to watch those highlights.
I just think Denver going home, they're going to kick the shit out of this team. I bet the game already.
But again, it seems very baity. I hate this fucking card. I hate it. Everything seems like it's like, oh, take this. Please take this. I'm begging you to take this.
Feels baity, but I think the way the Patriots have played better over the last couple weeks. So think about it from that view. Like, it's not that baity.
Well, it's just like
I mean,
they just lost J.C. Jackson with this. He's going through mental health stuff. Apparently,
no offense to J.C. Jackson, but like a mental health aside, the way he plays on the field, it's a better thing. He's not playing.
Yeah. Not a good pickup, but still, like good.
This game opened 5.5. It's 6.5. I don't think that's crazy. It's 61% of the tickets and 74% of the money on the Broncos.
Yeah,
I'm mad at myself here. I should have made the Broncos my fifth like.
There's still time.
No, I locked in the over.
You locked in? All right.
If you let me switch, I will switch.
You can do whatever the fuck you want.
All right, we're switching. Broncos minus 6.5. They're going to fucking kill this team to ring in Christmas. I'm going to be wrapping gifts and putting shitty toys together. And wife's probably buying shit from IKEA just to make things so friggin' complicated. Hey, let's take like a seesaw and make it 700 pieces so parents can put them together right before Christmas because God knows I have zero time to put it together before Christmas Eve. So you know that I'll be watching that game, swearing, drinking, pissed off from the day. And you know what? Lock it in. Fifth like. Erase the Bills game. Still bet it, but erase it. Six like. Denver minus 6.5.
Wait, so you're taking away the Buffalo over?
I'm taking away the Buffalo over.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
6 like Buffalo over.
Sixth like Buffalo over, yes.
Official like. Broncos, now the leader in the clubhouse.
Minus, let me just check. I see
6.5
across the board pretty much. Oh, yeah.
We get a live audible here in the podcast.
Look at this. Live audible.
What?
That's why you listen to the whole pod. No scrolling through.
Yeah.
You miss out on the likes. Because then you'll look at the Instagram update and be like, he didn't take Denver. I sure did.
Wait, so you're getting a seesaw for Christmas?
I don't know. No, I was just making that shit up. My wife
okay.
bought that like years ago.
Remember we were exchanging texts about the IKEA kitchen?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember fucking. I will say
that
this.
thing took 3 fucking hours to put together.
I will say I have to tap out of this because a couple years ago, fun story.
That was
I had COVID
yeah.
when
it was like real.
When it was
yeah.
cool to have COVID, not like when like there's vaccines and believe it or not, it helps. It might kill you. We're not sure, but when it was cool to have COVID, like you were risking everything. Actually, got it from Chris Costa on the podcast of Let's Get Rich. That was pretty cool.
Oh,
Thanks,
that's
Chris.
right. You
Shout
got
out
it
to
here,
you, Chris.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, buddy, over at Cardvault. Maybe you're over next door. That said, so had COVID and. It was like you were locked away for like 2 weeks.
And my sister had to put it together.
The first day I could come out of like
quarantine.
Thank you. Was Christmas morning, and your sisters wear like 18 masks. You're gonna see your daughter. You have to wear like 72 masks and wear big gloves,
and then put on 3 hazmat suits on top of it.
So
handle the gifts with nuclear tongs.
My poor daughter looking at me like
Homer Simpson.
Yeah, my daughter's looking at me like I look at my dad. Like, who are you? But I'm like, I actually still live here, honey. So there's a thing there. So. All that said, she did put that IKEA kitchen together, and I don't
all the credit in the world.
I'll be honest, thank you, Chris, for COVID, because honestly,
I
sucked.
struggled with it.
Sucked for 2 weeks, but I have to put together that IKEA kitchen. Those IKEA things are just unnecessarily.
I must say though, as a dad, there is something to liking the feel of putting together your kids' toys.
Oh yeah,
but having a beer next to you
when you're done with it, it's
and you're like,
cool.
son of a bitch.
Yeah. How many
son of a fucking bitch. Look at this thing.
Or like the directions.
Swig.
The directions have 0 words, and you're like, cool.
Yeah.
I guess this is the fucking part.
It's just pictures.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, God.
Pictures.
Well, and then you're doing this fucking thing. You're like looking at all the different angles.
Wait,
you're like,
maybe
what
this
fucking direction is this supposed to go in?
It looks like there's a slit in the wood here, but not on the other
now,
side.
Is this hole supposed to be for the peg or for the nut?
Everything sucks. Everything sucks. That's why you need to drink. And then all of a sudden it's 2 a.m. and your kids are like shaking you at 4. So it's great. Everything's great.
Yeah.
Christmas is happy holiday.
Well, that's what booze and caffeine is for, my friend.
And it's also the Broncos because they're going to bury the Patriots on Sunday.
All right.
Saturday
I might be joining you on this because I know what this Patriots team is. It's dog shit.
Going to Denver, especially in December, late in the year, it's just the altitude. There's a thing. That's a thing.
Yeah, Zappy's not accustomed to the altitude.
Oh, the one other reason I should mention that I really like the Broncos. It's because the reason I've been fading the Broncos, and I say this weekly, is because they're lucky. They get turnovers. Well, who the fuck turns the ball over more than New England?
Good question.
No one.
I don't think anybody,
Literally no one. So, like, this is a prime spot to get a lot of turnovers and just cash this ticket easy and wake up on Christmas and eat your little muffins and your eggs and be happy. Open your gifts with some extra money. Some extra money.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was also... there's so many near likes for me this week. I can't tell you how much I hate this card.
The card sucks.
And this is another square play. Chiefs -10, home versus the Raiders. I was very close to being, give me the Chiefs, because they absolutely dominate the Raiders. I couldn't do it. I can't do it with this Chiefs offense
We saw this a couple weeks ago, too, right? We were on Vegas. We had double like on Vegas, plus 9.5 at home. We didn't cover that, even though we were up like 38-0 and still couldn't cover. But I'll say this. I have a theory about Christmas Day. So I'll give it out quick. Christmas is not an NFL day unless it falls on the Sunday or Monday or Saturday. Like, if they can sneak in Christmas games, they will. But if it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're not getting Christmas games, right? Like, that's the way it works. So I think you have to play Christmas like you play Thanksgiving. And what they're doing is they're heavily... They understand that people are going to be home on Christmas. Oh, the NFL's on. Let's watch football. Because why wouldn't they, right? So you're going to think about that. Yes, the NBA's on, but I'm sorry, it's not going to hold a candle to the NFL any day of the week.
Keep going, yeah.
So I think you're going to see a lot of juice with the favorites. You're going to see it in this game. You're going to see it in Philly. And partially because, like, you want to bet the favorites? Well, you're not betting them at the number they actually should be. What I saw when I made this game, 8 points. We'll talk about this in a second with the Giants at Philly. I made that 9. So I think you're seeing a couple extra points. It's also teaser protective. When you get over 10, the goal of teasing is you want to get through 7 and 3.
Yeah.
So the higher it goes, you can't tease down unless you're juicing teasers. You can't even use the 7-point teasers when it's over 10 to get below 3, right? That's the key to teasing. So it makes them unteasable as well, right, against these teams. Like, yes, if you give me a chance to have the Chiefs and the Eagles in a Christmas teaser, -2.5 on each of them.
Fucking guy's gifts walking by. You see this?
This guy, yeah, look at this guy. This guy, actual Santa Claus. He's got more things. He's got a surfboard. What is skis?
He's literally going on the train with skis.
He's not going to fit. You're not going to fit, buddy. You're not going to fit on the train.
I'm going to New Hampshire this weekend. Please allow my skis on the train. Thank you. Fucking tool bag.
So that said, I think it's tease protective. I think you get a little extra points. You also play it like Thanksgiving. You got to play if you want to back the favorites, you're gonna have to lay more than you really want to here. That's my consensus.
So I'm sorry, you would lean Raiders.
I actually lean Chiefs.
Okay,
but I think the value, I think the value is gone because they do this.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I like that Pacheco's coming back.
Yep.
You're seeing more and more Rashee Rice, who's been really solid. Get Kelsey going again. Get his confidence going again because he's been rattled a couple of weeks, and I don't know if that's just mileage or whatever. Figure Arrowhead's going to be rocking, and I question Aiden O'Connell and his mindset in that atmosphere. That's going to be a bumping atmosphere. In an 11 career starts against the Raiders, Mahomes has led the Chiefs to an average of 35.5 points per game. So they dominate the Raiders. But I like the way the way the Raiders are playing.
Yeah, that's why it's a complete
Antonio Pierce has those guys playing for him right now.
It's a complete and utter stay away from me. There's too many things on both sides that I have no interest in tackling.
And let me just catapult into this next game. Another square play. Philadelphia Eagles. Actually, I don't know if this is square. Because of the way they've been playing. I'm seeing -11.5, -12 in some places versus the Giants. In what Vegas thinks is a get-right spot here. Is it a square play? Is it too baity?
Bookmakers up to 13. I mean, this 13, line is crazy.
But, Jalen Hurts was sick. He was sick as a dog, dude. If you were watching him on the sideline, ooh.
He's just grumpy.
No, he looked like shit.
Yeah, he's looked like shit for weeks.
And then you had this, everything going on with Philadelphia is very chaotic.
Yeah.
Agreed. Even this whole season, I'm not even talking about recently.
Totally agree.
We had that whole Jason Kelsey thing early on in the season. Now, it was 6 games in, and there was some inner turmoil, it seemed like, was going on.
Yeah.
And now you had this A.J. Brown thing you texted me the other day. He was going after it after some fan on Twitter.
He's just fighting fans.
Yeah.
They're breaking at the seams.
But my hesitation on this is yes, this is the ideal get-right spot. versus this garbage fucking Giants team who should have covered for me last week. But it's just like, as you put that as close as possible to the microphone. It's just like, if this goes south quick early on, that Philly crowd's going to be all fucking over them.
Kill them. They were not happy.
Nobody's more hostile than Philly.
No, those people they're very normal humans.
And if there's like some weird offense going on, maybe a couple of quick 3-and-outs, they're going to start.
Watch out.
They're going to start hearing it. Yeah, and that's where I get a little bit hesitant here. So, yeah, ideally, yes, this is the perfect get-right spot for the Eagles. Their schedule is cake the rest of the year.
Sure is.
Giants, Cardinals, Giants. Can't get more cake than that.
Can't.
I need to see it first after we're losing 3 in a row here.
Yeah, I agree. I lean the Giants here. I think this has got out of hand. I think, I bet this game last year in week 17 or whatever it was, they played late in the season. Last year in Philly, and I was playing with Tyrod Taylor at quarterback for the Giants, and they managed to cover the game. It wasn't easy. It wasn't pretty. I don't like what I see from Philly. I mean, you just let Drew Lock go 92 yards with one timeout. He didn't even use it.
Yeah, Matt Patricia calling the defense
Matt Patricia, cool, you lost half yourself, but you still had a stupid pencil in your ear.
Look good.
Yeah, physically looks good. Cool play calls, though. Like, Drew Lock went down the field on you. I can't get there. As much as I don't love this Tommy DeVito story to continue, I could see Philly winning this game by 30, but I could also see the Giants covering, and I don't want any part of it.
Yeah, it's just ultimate stay away from me here. But would it shock me if Philly won 30-0, like you said?
No,
not at all. Not at all. I just need to see it first. All right, I think we've covered the rest. Time to move to the best. Let me start because I'm dog shit.
But also a double like here. I like your best bet.
Yes, and I feel very good about that one because this is your team, the San Francisco 49ers, home versus the Baltimore Ravens, a potential Super Bowl preview, if you will.
Yeah.
Niners favored by 5 points here. This opened at 6.5. Oh, no, 5.5, excuse me, right?
4.
Oh, excuse me. So it opened at 4, and now it's all the way up to 5.5. At some places, 5, I'm getting now.
Yep.
Give me the Niners, -5. Listen, Ravens just suffered another impactful injury on their offense, and Keaton Mitchell, who tore his ACL, done for the year. Really an explosive, undrafted rookie, great story, running back there, and something different than the Boars, I should say, of Gus Edwards and Justice Hill, who have been there for years. Keaton Mitchell offered them something different.
Yep.
A little more explosion out of that backfield. Big loss. So now you have Mark Andrews done for the year, as we've been mentioning. Add Keaton Mitchell there. I just don't like the Ravens going to the West Coast coming off of that injury. Also, in terms of the 49ers, this could be the Purdy wins MVP game, especially after Dak got his ass kicked last week in Buffalo. Let's see what happens in Miami. We already talked about that. And now there's also this late season push for CMC to potentially win MVP.
That'd be even better. Be even better.
Numbers are going more and more into his favor. So you got to add that element into it. And I understand that the Ravens, they're 19-3-1 against the spread in their last 23 games as an underdog. But I'm going with this trend. 10 of the 49ers wins this season have come by double digits, including each of their last 6 games. And we all know how elite they are at home. Actually, they're elite everywhere, honestly. 5 just seems way too low here. Ravens are a great team. They're probably going to be in the AFC Championship game. 49ers are a much better team than the Baltimore Ravens. Give me the Niners, -5.
Yeah, I'll second it. And again, not just because I'm a fan. I bet the open. I got a nice number. I actually got the open. The open was 4, and I got it. I went to bet 4, and it went down to 3.5 for like 12 seconds, and I got a 3.5, which is very nice. And I'd much rather be giving out 3.5 than 5. But that said, anything under a touchdown here, like 2 of the better teams in the NFL, as you mentioned, Tuck. the MVP Bowl, as I call it, with Brock Purdy and Lamar Jackson, because now all of a sudden you got to have a second candidate, and Lamar Jackson's now up there because, like you said, Dak and Jalen Hurts shit themselves, so good luck. Goodbye. Sayonara for MVP there. The Ravens want to run the ball in this game. They're number one in the offense in the league at running at 163 yards a game, but the Niners are third in the league, just allowed 89 yards a game on the ground. I think that's going to be the key, but I like the players on the Niners more, especially that Keaton Mitchell injury. I think that plays a huge role. I think they spent a lot of time during their bye week starting to mix him in and get him to be a factor in this game. Gus Edwards is not the type of guy that has success running the ball against the San Francisco 49ers. The speed is, so the Lamar Jacksons are. But the thing, and I know Lamar is 19-1 against the NFC, including one win against the San Francisco 49ers in a great game in Baltimore a couple years ago. But the difference here is I think the Niners are going to be actually well prepared for him in a way that they wouldn't be because they just played against Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, 2 of the last 3 weeks. Kyler Murray giving you a little bit more of what Lamar is going to do. I think he's actually quicker than Lamar, but Lamar's a better runner and a better player.
That was going to be my question for you because I didn't look up the stats, but how is this San Francisco defense versus a mobile quarterback like Lamar?
In years past, they've hurt him, but I think they have a nice... I mean, they put the blueprint out on how to beat Philly. They literally just kept Hurts in the pocket. They rushed up, kept him in the pocket, and made... If you get pressure with your D tackles, you're good.
I mean, Baltimore's got to be knowing that's coming.
Of course. So I suspect it. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that Jalen Hurts can do. Here's the thing that Kyler Murray can do that I think they do both better than Lamar Jackson. That's throw the ball to the outside. Like, Lamar's a better passer over the middle than a Kyler Murray. Sure.
Yeah.
But still, throwing outside the numbers, I just don't see it. He likes to throw deep. He likes to throw over the middle. Okay. I think the Niners will be ready for that too. And, like, look, I know the Baltimore's a better team. Like, they're one of the better teams in the AFC, if not the best team in the AFC. The AFC's kind of mid for what we thought it was going to be. I think everyone coming into the year was like, the AFC's so stacked. You got all the quarterbacks here. But no one's really dominant. And to the point where I keep thinking Buffalo's the best team in the AFC right now, and they're not even a playoff team at the moment. So, like, we'll see there. I just think San Francisco's offense, too. Like, Baltimore's got number one pass defense. And Kyle Shanahan will be dialing up some things to get receivers opened. I think McCaffrey's going to have a nice day. Baltimore 10th against the run, but they have to play well against the run. I think you're going to see a lot of Christian McCaffrey in this game early. I think they'll mix in Jordan Mason a little bit in there to give him some rest. I think you'll see McCaffrey as a pass catcher, as we usually do, like the regulars with them. We also just saw Kyron Williams, Tuck, have a very good game just running right at that Baltimore defense. You're getting the same style with the Niners. We're from the NFC West. They play that physical style. Christian McCaffrey, he's better than Kyron Williams. As good as Kyron. I like Kyron Williams. Not a knock on Kyron Williams, but he's just better. Like, we'll see. Like, it's right. Like, and the other thing, last thing on here, since Chase Young's arrived, keep talking about this, but the 49ers defense has been the best defense in the NFL, bar none. They're 6-0. They are consistently getting pressure on the quarterback, which is what they were lacking. It's why they went out and got him. They're averaging over 3.5 sacks a game, with 8.5 pressures a game against these quarterbacks. Like, crazy numbers there.
So what do you think of this point total, though? Could this game shoot out potentially?
I like the over. I lean the over. I lean the
yeah.
over. Is it at 47 now?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was 45.5 when I started. It's 45.5. So yeah, 45.5 to 47. It supports the lean. I think you're getting close to like where we back off. I think there's a real chance, and I'm not saying this as a fan. I promise. You know me.
You call it like it is.
I was on. I bet Arizona last week. We had plus 14. They didn't cover. I lost it. But
right.
So point is, I will bet against them.
Yep.
I just root for my bet to lose. That said, I think there's a real chance this gets double digits. I really, really do. I do. I don't feel as confident in it as I did against the Eagles, but I do think anything under a touchdown is safe to take the Niners here.
Let me throw a couple fantasy questions your way related to this game. I am benching Dallas Goedert in favor of Isaiah Likely.
Yep, I would do that.
I'm thinking of flexing Odell versus Jalen Warren or Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Okay.
Because 49ers are pretty vulnerable to perimeter wideouts. Yes or no? I think they are.
They have been, yes. Shavarius Ward's really stepped up for them in a way that, like, there are some days where Ward, you're like, Jesus, he's a flag machine, and then there are other days he looks awesome. Mm-hmm. He's been playing really well. So that could go either way. But your other options could also go either way.
Yeah, like I could have gone Goddard, Warren, or Jackson Smith.
Do you think the Eagles try to get Goddard going? Yeah. That's the one question I have. Because against the Giants as a team, you could get them going. He
I do.
Can be a key to their offense. I mean, let's face it, they were losing when he was out. And then
I've been rolling out Goddard all year, and I picked up Likely when Goddard got out. So I might just roll out Likely.
I do like Likely. I do like Likely.
Yeah.
It's not always a Fred Warner's going to be on him. So I do like Likely there. He's still going to get the ball. Don't force feed Likely.
Like, I don't trust Jalen Warren. Jackson Smith had a late touchdown there. Only
Tennessee
4 catches.
Can't stop the pass, though. That's one thing, the reason to not like the Titans is the Seattle wants to throw. Titans can't stop the pass.
No, yeah.
They'll air it out in that game. Whether Smith and
So you'd roll out the 2 tight ends?
I think I'd come down. You can't trust Beckham. You can't even trust Beckham. Like, the Jags couldn't stop the pass either, and Beckham had 1 catch for 14 yards. I played Beckham in DraftKings. It was disappointing.
Yeah. No, I did too. That sucked. Okay, so now I'm talking about Goddard versus Likely.
Goddard Likely? I'd probably you can flip a coin there. I think
no. I'm saying
both will do well.
I would flex Goddard.
Oh yeah. Instead of Beckham, Jalen Warren.
Yes, or I have Jackson too. So pick one flex: Warren, Jackson, or Likely. If I'm starting Goddard.
Too much uncertainty with the Pittsburgh quarterback right now to say do Warren. I'd go. Oh God, that's tough.
It's tough, right?
I'd probably double up the tight end. I think I'd go Goddard and Likely.
I'm doing that. I think it's a Goddard week. I really do.
I think they're going to try to get him the ball.
Yeah,
I think
it's been too slow for Goddard there, and I think he's maybe the missing motor.
Yeah, lean on him a little bit. Lean on him a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And then Broncos or 49ers D?
Oh, Broncos. You got to go Broncos.
Yeah.
No, nothing against the Niners D.
I mean, the Niners D is just so
the Ravens will
elite.
score points. The Ravens,
right.
I just don't think – I think the Niners are going to score in this game.
Yeah.
I think the Niners will probably give up some points too, though. I don't suspect this to be low scoring.
I just had that fantasy question that popped up.
Yeah.
Because, we're talking about semifinals and everything.
You have to play Denver.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so just a recap here for our likes. Bills minus 11.5. Colts plus 1.5. Cowboys plus 2. Double like. Lions Vikings over 46.5 for me. Your likes, Matt. Jacksonville plus 1.5. Denver minus 6.5. Dallas plus 2. Double like. And the Niners minus 5. My best bet is... Oh, wait. I'm sorry. You did not give your fucking best bet.
I didn't.
What a fucking asshole
You know what's funny? I literally didn't even realize.
I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah, no one wants that.
I'm sorry.
We'll end the show.
Best bet minus 5.
I thought you were doing.
Me.
I thought you were switching, and then
no,
you were just doing a recap beforehand.
I'm a fucking idiot. Okay. I apologize. I apologize to you. I apologize to our audience. I'm sorry. What is your best bet?
All right, buddy. Jalen Warren question. I thought we were going to walk right into that, to be honest.
I missed it. I missed it.
Saturday, very first game of the weekend after Thursday Night Football.
You got to talk me through this one because I went the other way.
All right,
or I leaned the other way.
Perfect. You and everyone else. 69% of the tickets, 89% of the money on the Bengals. You can just give me the Pittsburgh Steelers plus 2.5. They're going to win the game outright. So let's talk about this, Tucker. Let me just pull up my notes. So it is the ultimate buy low spot on the Steelers. We've seen them just shit themselves over the last 3 weeks, play terrible. We've seen Kenny Pickett go down as bad as we thought Kenny Pickett was. Well, Mitch Trubisky says, hold my beer. Horrendous quarterback. We saw Mason Rudolph come in last week, play terrible at the end of that game.
Seems like he's going to be the starter, though.
Sure, he is going to be. I think Rudolph or Pickett. They said Pickett might be back. Whoever it is, the good news is it's not Mitch Trubisky. Let's just say that.
I guess the Pittsburgh beat writers are kind of beating the drum of Mason Rudolph. They're like, let's see Mason Rudolph.
I think they want Rudolph because, look, Pickett's thrown 6 touchdowns this year. Like, 6. I mean, that's insane. Like, sorry, but they do win with him. So you got it's this weird concept. He's not very good. They still win games with them. Trubisky was just very, very bad. So let's start there, okay? So I'm getting a home team plus points. I don't care if Mason Rudolph, I want to be very clear about this. I don't care if Mason Rudolph's the quarterback. I don't care if Kenny Pickett's the quarterback. If the Steelers are getting +2.5 or +2 or plus points, I'm taking the Steelers 100 times out of 100 in this game.
Yeah.
They're at home. They've lost 3 in a row. Jake Browning and the Cincinnati Bengals are in town, and the last win the Steelers had was against Jake Browning and the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati just 4 weeks ago. They're the first team to see Jake Browning twice. Okay.
Oh,
for Cincy,
very good point. Very good point.
For Cincy, injuries are starting to mount. Okay, their best defensive player, DJ Reader, out for the year with a torn quad last week against Minnesota. Their rookie DJ Ivey, cornerback, he tore his ACL. He's out for the year. And then you also have Jamar Chase, who has this AC sprained joint in his shoulder.
He's not going to play.
I don't think he's going to play. They're saying questionable at the least. And my notes say if he plays, he's definitely not going to be near 100%. I think he's going to be out. So 3 huge injuries right there for the Bengals. For Pittsburgh, I talked about how I don't care if it's Rudolph or Pickett as long as it's not Trubisky. Here are some trends, Tuck, that I came across from the Action Network. Call them out because when you have a really good trends that I really don't see elsewhere, I like to call it out. You see, you start to look into this stuff, you can find trends, different spots, and trends are trends. You can find them. But the Action Network called out some pretty cool, unique ones that I want to give them a special shout out for. Week 5 on. As a dog, Mike Tomlin, 69% covers ATS.
Nice.
Tomlin at home as a dog in general, 79% ATS. Division games, 25-5-1. That's 81% as a dog. After a loss, more than 7 points as a dog. He's 90% ATS, as the Steelers are. Okay? Against Cincinnati in general, they're 67%. AFC North underdogs late in the season. So considering that, week 16 on, we're at week 16, 64%. Next week, and then those were the Action Network trends. Fantastic, in my opinion. One more sidebar for myself. Next week, New Year's Eve, Cincinnati, Kansas City. Everyone wrote that game off when Joe Burrow got hurt. Mm-hmm. Not anymore, because I think, especially when the Steelers are playing desperate football. Look, they've lost 3 in a row. They're 7-7. The AFC playoffs are wide open. There's a lot going on in that wild card, those wild card spots. The Bengals, yes, they need to win, but they're a game up. They can afford a loss. The Steelers need it. Steelers lose, they're done. See you later. Mike Tomlin's going to find a new home.
And that would be 5 in a row.
4 in a row, right? 4 in a row, because he beat Cincy 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
So it will be 4 in a row. That was their last win. So I just think that look ahead is just there because they want to play. The Kansas City-Cincinnati rival is a thing. And I think Cincy's got a real chance in that game. I don't think it's more about Kansas City. We'll talk about that next week. We'll get there. Pittsburgh's winning this game outright. Give me the Steelers plus 2.5. They're going to win the game.
So you're taking a money line sprinkle.
I didn't play the money line yet, but it's not worth it at this point. It's not high enough. I play money lines and we're getting like over a field goal, and you can start to get some real juice.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be afraid to play the money line, but I'm taking the points. That's the best bet.
Let me just disclose that prior to recording this, you weren't feeling as confident as you were in your other best bets for this pick, correct?
Well, the Rams would have been my best bet for the week, so it was more about that.
That's
and then I also liked the Niners, and I didn't want to make the Niners my best bet. So it was really those three bets, and I can't use the Rams, but I'm betting the Rams. Those 3 picks together are my 3 favorite picks of the week.
All right, well, there you go.
And throw in the Cowboys because I feel strong.
And again, Matt is 12-3 on the season for his best bets, and I must say, this might be the ballsiest of all your picks.
Yeah, I mean, look, betting Pittsburgh right now is not what most people want to do, but that's also why
you're profitable.
You win sometimes. I mean, sometimes the public and the money and the tickets, everything comes in and it's good. 69% of the tickets, 89% of the money as of right now on Cincinnati.
All right. Well, I already gave out my likes and best bets there. So just to recap, Matt had for his likes, Jacksonville plus 1.5, Dallas plus 2 double like, Denver minus 6.5, mid podcast audible, love it. 49ers minus 5, echoing my best bet. And best bet for Matt, Steelers plus 2.5. Do you like it at 2?
Yep.
Okay.
They're going to win the game.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. All right. Any final thoughts here before we head into the holidays here?
No, I'm just going to say thank you all for listening.
Yeah, seriously.
Happy holidays. We really appreciate it. We know everyone's got a lot of content out there, so the people who listen to us, we really appreciate. There's a lot of podcasts that do what we do. We try to give you our insight in what we believe is going to hit and why we bet the games. We don't tell you to fade us. We don't tell you to follow us. Maybe Tucker tells you to fade them here and there. But other than that, we really appreciate everything you guys are doing. We're starting to grow this. We're seeing the numbers increase. So thank you guys. Continue to listen, share, like, everything. Happy holidays, safe holidays, and we'll talk next week.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Hurley. And Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. Good luck this week. Hopefully we get past this shitty card, and we'll move forward here.
We will.
All right.
See you
Merry
guys.
Christmas, everyone.
Yep.